It's a van race breakdown. You gonna be okay with that?
Yeah, that's good. That's fine.
Welcome to the van breakdown. We're gonna break down Ault Park week 2.
Numero dos.
It's Friday now, so we've built the video, and it was 2 nights ago.
Yeah, and we're currently sitting in a middle school parking lot.
I think it's an elementary school. But
Maybe
getting ready for Orbital, which is a different race.
Don't bring in facts into it. We're in a middle school in the white van with a mannequin. Let's just leave it at that.
All right. But we're having a good time. We got a race tonight, and we're going to break down some film. So here we go. Here we go. This is the start of the race. Actually clipped in first attempt.
That's unfamiliar territory for you.
Yeah.
But you still fell back. Why'd you fall back?
So my role in this race was to be the designated sweeper for our sprinter, which is the guy right in front of me, Richie.
The guy with the veins.
The guy with the veins and the Euro socks. So this is the Ault Park race, week 2. Why don't you tell our thousands of listeners and people watching this video what Ault Park is all about?
Yeah, so Ault Park is a series, used to be weekly. This time it's every other week, at least this year. It is a criterium series. They closed the park down. There's a nice little loop around Ault Park. It's about a 1K loop. We do 40K, 40 laps. Every 5 laps in this race is a sprint for points. The top 4 people of each sprint lap get points, and at the end, the person with the most points effectively wins the race. What's cool about this series is at the very end of the series, you have a podium for who collected the most points throughout the series. So locally, it's kind of a big deal. You know, usually get most of the fast guys from our region that come out here and have a good time.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it from the speeds. We're going uphill. It's basically an uphill, little flat across the top, downhill, repeat.
Yep.
But the finish is a little bit uphill, a little bit of tailwind this week, and then so you're right, every 5 laps there's point sprint, but then at lap 20 and 40 the points are doubled.
Yeah,
so the 4,
right.
3, 2, 1 points get doubled.
Yeah, and it's interesting because 1, the sprint laps kind of really change your breakaway strategy, and 2, the elevation makes a difference. I don't know what the total elevation of the race is, somewhere around 2,500 feet, I think, of elevation gain throughout the race. So sprint plus elevation makes this a really intriguing kind of weekly series.
Yeah, exactly. So we're lap 2. A couple teams are out there. We're on Brilliant Advice, and we had 9 riders in the race.
9 riders, yep.
And the team we were most worried about, because they had the most points in week 1, was the purple jerseys of 11-11.
That is right.
I don't remember how many guys. They had a couple guys missing, but they were, I don't know, 5 guys?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, they did have a couple guys missing. Most notably, their sprinter was not here, which we didn't realize until the start line, which kind of changed the dynamics of the race quite a bit, because historically they've been really dialed in to serve up their sprinter at the line.
Yep. And then so our strategy with that many guys is get our sprinter, Richie, who you saw, who's right to our left there, 169, get him teed up, but use the rest of our guys as, breakaway, making the pace hot, but then leading him out when we can. And then my job is to sweep, which I haven't done a lot of, and I learned pretty quickly that during this race everybody wanted his wheel.
Yeah, it's a hard job.
Yeah, everyone wants his wheel, and I'll go through some of the things I've figured out, and I'm still figuring out about this. One thing is that, I think this is it. He's sneaky. Richie's good. Like, okay, I'm trying to follow his wheel, and all of a sudden he'll zip through the pack, and I'm not following him.
Yeah, he's phenomenal at moving within the pack. Like literally in the middle of the peloton, he can pick up spots or whatever. Whereas myself, I'm like left side, right side. Like that's where I'm most comfortable.
Yeah. There's an attack. I think in this right now there's a breakaway up the road that started pretty. You can see just in the corner there. 2 guys.
Yeah, I think Derek's up there.
Okay, one of our teammates is up there in that break. I don't know.
Maybe not him. At one point, Derek was up there early in the race.
Oh, okay. Correct.
Yeah, so, the speeds of this race are interesting. I think we average 26 and a half mile an hour. Obviously, you're hammering on the downhill, taking that momentum uphill the best you can, little lull up top before you do it all again.
Yeah, and by the way, right there from that start line, finish line, this road is like a cheese grater.
It is.
If you when you're listening to the audio, it's like, and then right here is no concrete, and it goes into gravel. A lot of guys try to go around it, but after a while, I mean, cyclocross season started kicking in, and you're just like, screw it, let's just go right through.
Let's just go, yeah. So we have 1 to go until sprint lap. Is that how this is?
Yeah. So this is lap 4, and 1 to go till sprint lap. See this guy in the blue, Bo. Talked about him before. He's really strong, and he's trying to get on Richie's wheel.
Yep.
As well. That's you up front,
Yeah,
right?
that's me up front. Just what I'm trying to do here is just keep the pace high. I don't want any moves to happen before the sprint lap that we have to chase down. So I'm just trying to keep it, a respectable speed before it gets crazy up at the top of the hill.
And there's 3 guys away at this point. So again, top 4 get points. Richie was out week 1, so we're trying to get him to come back with points. Lucky for us, the guy who's in first was out, so now we've got a chance
to get on some common footing here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So now they're ringing the bell up at the top, so we have a sprint lap coming up. So you're going to see it's going to get a little dicey. It's going to start picking up pretty quick.
In the distance, you can see the 3 guys. Here goes Pipasar's, a teammate of ours' nephew, and he goes off and attacks. So he would now have 4th place points.
Yep.
The UC, what's that guy's name?
Patrick.
Patrick went off as well. He's trying to follow. And now everybody's scrambling to get that 4th spot.
Yep, so you see your watts picked up, pretty heavy there.
Yeah, I'm a little under 155 pounds, so, 400 or 500 watts isn't helpful. So I get to the left here, I pull up, I see Richie, and I say, hey, we got 4th place right in front of us. You want me to go get him? He's like, yep, let's go, and that's where my watts turn up. And I turn from sweeper to lead out.
Yep.
Which was a helpful thing that I found doing this role. I was hoping to get to the left of him because it's an inside sprint, but
you were just carrying
Richie's so fast. Richie just takes off, and you can, I yell go, go, go right at this point because Dan comes up, and he's got a wheelhouse of a
He's
sprint.
like the glute machine. I tell you, I'm going downhill, and he just zooms past me like I'm not even moving. He is fast.
Yeah, so we got 1 point. Richie's on the board for 1 point because the break got gobbled up the first 3. And then weird stuff always happens after the sprint lap where some guys start to go and try to keep up the pace for a break.
Yep.
The sprinters usually sit back and recuperate.
Yeah, so you see on the right-hand side, someone from 1111 was starting to go. Adam picked up that wheel pretty quickly. At that point, if we're up the road, 1111's up the road, everybody wants to latch on because, now you have a nice portion of the field blocking. So.
Yeah. Do you remember where you are at this point?
At this point, I don't. I'm behind you, clearly.
And that's why it's getting strung out on this downhill. Some guys took flyers.
Yep.
They're going.
So far at this point of the race, what we knew was going to happen was, Rob, you're going to be the sweeper.
Yeah.
The rest of us were just going to try to play it by ear. Maybe we try a lead out. Maybe we don't. Maybe we do attacks. Maybe we don't. We're just kind of waiting to see how the race played out. And it hadn't really presented itself to us yet to see what our best strategy was going to be.
Yeah, we were happy with a point.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because our team is a combination of a lot of strong guys that are riding together for the first time. Richie's our only, he's our Cat 1. He's
Yep.
our sprinter, but he's had to survive this whole time, freelancing and doing things on his own and sneaking around. So we've never really got into races, and that's what this year's all about, is getting the talent that we have and the fitness that we have to work together.
Yep. That's
which is
right.
fun to figure that out.
Yep. So I just went by on the left-hand side in the red kit, just trying to, check out what's happening on the front, knowing that we're going to have a couple laps to go until another sprint.
Yeah, I still we're only going 34 now. A lot of times you get up to 40. It's interesting going down these, just cruising down.
Yeah, it is.
And it can get pretty tight. Something I'm trying to learn is to just trust the wheels in front of me and roll with it.
Well, that's the thing, is you're going so fast, generally safe enough, because no one's trying to do anything dicey at that speed. So you see David on my wheel, white jersey. That's Pipisar's nephew. He's a strong kid.
So one of the things I've kind of learned here is that if I stayed as a sweeper right on Richie's wheel and he's left a gap to the left, that's not great because someone can just slide up the inside.
Yeah.
Right? So right now, I'm exposed on the inside, and you'll see as the race goes on, and even here, I'm moving to the right, because that way when this thing comes around and everyone starts taking the inside line, Richie can snap in front of me.
Yep.
And it's much easier to sweep for him versus someone else takes his wheel.
Yep.
So is anyone away at this point?
I don't think anybody's away at this point.
You can see the pace increasing.
Yeah, it really ebbs and flows in this race. Sometimes you're going super slow. You're like, geez, because you know it's just going to get hard again. As soon as it slows up, like someone's going to attack, then we're going to chase. But you just kind of learn to expect it.
So now we got 2 to go. Teammate of ours finally started yelling out because I wouldn't say half. Sometimes even the race director forgets to ring the bell.
Mm-hmm.
And so having somebody on the team yell out 3 to go, 2 to go, 1 to go as your race brain is kicking in, it helps it a lot when people call that out.
I'll tell you, last time Ian from 1111 told me, he goes, listen, I just look at my race computer and every around 7.5 minutes I know there's a sprint. I did that in the beginning of this race because I get confused until one of our teammates started yelling out, which was immensely helpful.
Yeah, so early on I was trying to follow his wheel. Now I let it snap back. It kind of sucks as the sweeper because then you're just taking the wind.
Yeah, right.
Like right here, I'm on the left so that no one comes around us. Yeah,
starting to pick it up.
So now people are looking around because this is the bell lap coming up. Are those lap riders ahead of us? Or maybe those were 2 guys off.
It might be 2 guys out the front. It is hard to stay away on this course. Just because of how the pace picks up.
So there's 11:11. I guess I forgot this. They started their lead out.
Yep.
For Zach.
I think so. That's Brad on Eric's wheel. Yep, there's Zach. Okay, and then there's Dan sweeping.
So what I love here is, if I remember this right, you guys come around.
No, that's the next sprint, I think.
Never mind.
Yeah, that'll be the next sprint.
So 11:11's doing their lead out. You can see our boy Goodwin on our right. And now the swarm's coming. Bo comes around, and I just got dry. Like, that's not good sweeping.
Well, so you couldn't really sweep because Richie knew he had to be on Zach's wheel with Dan sweeping, and to get into that position, it kind of leaves you as the odd man out.
Yeah. But it really didn't matter because then Richie just does good stuff here. I don't know how he closed. Ooh, that wheel bumped up. But Richie gets the inside, still gets third place.
Yep, third place.
So now he's sitting at 3 points.
3 points.
In my,
yep.
Good math.
Oh, I'm going to lose track of this. I don't know how. Richie's like, yeah, I'm keeping track during the race. I'm like, I do not know how you're doing that.
Yeah, I didn't know what lap it was. Yeah, a little bit of a spoiler alert. Richie goes for it in all 8 of 8,
Yep.
5-lap sprints. So that's hard to do. No, people usually don't. Guys usually don't try that.
Especially the sprint before the doubles. So
Yeah, a lot of guys take
They'll
off.
take off.
Yeah. You could bring up the the picture from the race results, and we could for sure say what lap we're on Strava.
I could, but I'm not going to. I don't know about you, Rob, but like we're going 39 miles an hour down here. Like, unless I'm in the draft, I can't get 39 on my own. I mean, it takes me 600 watts downhill to go 39.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're like 5 pounds less. You're like 150 or 149. So yeah, I mean, it just, and I'm at 155. I got a little bit more than you, but you're right. The bigger guys just cruise down, and I'm having to pedal while they're just rolling.
Yeah. So I feel like even in a breakaway, like when I'm going down, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get caught pretty quickly. There goes Matt Bull, Texas Roadhouse off the front.
There's Derek, right?
Derek's up there with Matt.
Yeah. So our guy, that's Mark and Adam, and now you're rolling up.
Yep.
And you're just like, all right, let's let them roll.
Yep.
And this is right after, we're still a little bit from the next sprint, so, and then
That's Jake.
Jake is motivated.
Yeah,
He
he sees
bridges
what's
up.
happening. He sees we're controlling the front. We have 2 strong riders off the front. Jake wants to be in that move.
By the way, there's a crack in one of these drains that I think we should name the Grand Canyon, and I think I hit it 38 right here. 38 out of 48 times.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but like that inside line is where I always am, and I'm always like, ugh, gosh.
Well, those grates are, I mean, they're there every year, every week, and I don't know, you kind of forget that they're there, and then things get tight, and you're thinking, okay, well, I guess I'll go over it or right near it.
Risk death for a moment here.
Yeah. And then this is that so I don't know why some guys just do not want to go into that gravel.
Yeah. So at this point, there's 3 of us and 11-11 at the very front. So 11-11 is trying to bring back that move, and there's 3 of us right after that just hanging in.
My heart rate was strange because I'm not usually in that sweeper roll. So for me, a high heart rate is 174, 175. I had a high of 187 because I think I was doing a lot more minute efforts and
Yeah, your anaerobic
yeah,
system was being tested big time.
yeah, it was totally different. Yeah, it was wild.
And it's funny because my heart rate, similar to you, like 175 is high. I did a lot less of the anaerobic, a lot more of the just sustained power.
Yeah, and you're Your normalized was what, 319 for this race?
319. Yeah.
And mine was 286.
Yeah.
So it's wild how when you get into a different zone than you're used to or that you've trained for, power doesn't equate to heart rate or
Yep.
effort.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So we're
This is the one before
the one before the sprint here.
Yeah.
Okay. Richie's so patient.
Oh gosh.
Like the one before a sprint, I'm like, I'm not even in a sprint, right? I'm just like, oh geez, I need to get in position here, and Richie's just,
Yep, sliding up.
yep,
This is always an interesting spot on the course because there's a chicane you can see that mirrors the one on the other side, but they don't build the course around it. And it just opens up this left side
yep,
that a lot of guys, I wouldn't say dive bomb because it's smooth into this, but it's definitely a place to move up.
yep. So this is what you're going to see here momentarily is our first time attempting a lead out
With these guys, yeah, for Richie
for Richie
in this race.
in this race. That's
Series,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Good clarification. So there's 3 of us up front right now starting to push the pedals pretty hard.
Who's in front? Is that Derek up front or you?
Derek, I think, is up front in front of me right now. And then it's Derek, I think it's Derek, myself, Mark.
And then Richie comes
And
around.
then Richie comes around and you snap into Richie.
Well, this is what's funny. Like, so Richie's gone. I'm trying to. Oh, there he goes. He sees you guys in the lead out because this is the sprint lap. I'm supposed to sweep him, so I'm trying to figure out how the hell to get up here. I think I can get by Bo, but ooh, that door gets.
Yeah.
That door gets. You guys are doing awesome.
Derek pulls off, then I'm just hammering right here. And you yell,
Well,
more.
more right. I yell more because I still feel the
Yeah,
group
so you
around
just
us.
yelled it, and I pulled off because I thought you were saying off, but it actually was good timing because Mark can get the momentum on the downhill, and here you are fighting Brandon for Richie's wheel.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, he got it, and he and I talked about it. I mean, there's nothing dangerous here.
Yeah, no, it was.
He just got it.
Yep.
But then when Richie uncorks, here's what's great. 3 up the road, Richie uncorks, and since you didn't bring it up, I can't remember if he actually got first or second.
Yeah, I think he got first on that one.
He did. Because and then that was Bull and Derek
Yep.
and
Yep.
Jake, probably, right?
Yep.
Or is that Jake?
That's Wiggles.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I mean that was successful.
That was awesome.
Yeah, first
Great job at that.
Listen, it was right place, right time, and we were able to execute. So that felt nice.
Yeah, it's good when a plan starts to come together, and then you can regroup, right? I mean, that was the thing that was you and I talked about after the races, and a lot of guys were like, after our efforts, I almost couldn't latch back on. You know you're doing something right when you're going to the well. You almost can't get on, but then you are able to get on, recover, and then do an effort again.
Yep. That's probably the first time I really went to the well on those efforts, like in a race, to the point of you can almost get
Yeah,
drunk.
and sometimes you need. I don't know. I'm still learning this sport, but sometimes the effort for the team in the right situation means you don't recover. You don't get back on.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's this or bust, or whatever effort it is or bust, or I'm doing this effort as hard as I can, and then I'm out.
Yep.
And that's better than going 80% finishing, getting a pack finish.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Yeah, nice. That's where we're going uphill. It's hard to see, but you beat a lot of guys to that corner, and then now that you're on the inside, you're passing even more wheels to move up.
Yeah.
And you've only been racing 2 years, which is incredible that you're a Cat 3 with, I think, Cat 2 power. need to collect some points. But now you're getting more comfortable, like right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
6 weeks ago, you never made that.
That's right.
Pass.
Yeah.
And look, like you snuck through, and I got pulled back. That was good.
Yeah, definitely. You know, just every race, every ride that we do. You know, a lot of the team rides that we do, where we get going pretty spicy, is a good way for us to just practice riding in the pack. And
Yeah, we need more train tracks in our crit races, because then we can bunny hop them and get a gap.
Yeah. Rob is notorious for bunny hopping train tracks. Didn't know.
All right, so is anybody out away other than this little break?
No, I don't think so.
Or the line that's starting. Look at that. Is that Nick Breeder on our right?
Over on the far right? Yep.
Yeah.
That's Nick.
He's got a good cadence going.
Yeah, he does. He's quick. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I mean this is what's crazy about the race. We just got done talking about the sprint, yes, and about some other things, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh wait, we got to do this, and then this is the double points one. Well, I guess we still have 2.5 left.
But this was another one. This was when we get there. I'll show you. That's the one where I did an effort, and I'm like, I may not last my time.
There's Dan Locke. Just won the state championship for Masters Crit in his age group, so congrats to Dan. He was the wily veteran when we were planning the tactics, kept zeroing us in to get some of these lead outs going.
He's got calves I only see in my dreams.
I think he's probably calves of the race.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I mean, he probably gets Mr. Calves for all the races he does, but definitely this one. If you could see the front of him, he looks like Boggs from Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption, yeah, that's right. Boggs.
All right, someone's up. There's something off the front.
Yeah. Somebody's trying to take a flyer with 2 to go for the sprint.
There's 1, 2, 3 guys up. Sometimes it's hard to see. This is technically registered as a training race, which means, if you get dropped, you can come back in.
That's right.
And a lot of times that makes it hard to know, okay, is that somebody who's in?
Yep.
Are they out? I wish they would, if you were coming back in, you'd just stay all the way to the outside.
So we're organizing our lead out now. And I go to the right here because I'm going to go around everybody, and I hear Mark say, "Be patient."
Oh, yeah?
So Bo is right in front of me, so I slide back in under Bo after Mark says, "Be patient." And that's when I know, okay, well, I'm going to have to do a big effort at the top of the hill. So that's how that went down.
Well, this is a perfect lead out for us because now 11-11's chasing these 2 guys.
Yep.
Then you got Bo. And then we got Richie in front of, so we're lined up going into 1 to go.
That's right. Yep.
Or into the bell lap.
So here we go. So now it's like, all right, well, now we need to make some moves.
Yeah, this is nice here. So you're dropping. I'm doing 400 clearly in the draft. And you just led everybody through the chicane except I'm getting pinched out, but that's fine. Everyone's trying to come around. The whole thing got thinned out. That was nice.
Yeah, it was, at one point I had to pull off there. I was standing up. I'm like, holy shit, this hurts. So, I mean, we're doing 26 up this little hill here, which is...
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing 500 watts in the draft. It's starting to come down now, finally. This is where I'd love... we're working on this, is how do we get proactively Bo off Richie's wheel? Now, I'm using this as an opportunity to come around and use this chicane and get on his wheel.
Yep.
But this is, Bo's a good sprinter. He does,
savvy.
This is tight!
Yeah.
And he got me. I mean, that was...
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, again, not dangerous. Tight, but not dangerous. So Mark's done. You can see Mark starting to, and then Richie kind of but he just, once he gets on it, he just starts mashing, takes the inside line, and if they have to come around, they got to go outside.
Yep.
And look at just that acceleration.
Yep.
First place for the double points.
For the double points.
Yeah, and that's nice.
That one felt good.
I mean, that hurt me, and I was in the draft the whole time. Didn't sprint 100%. I'm over 180 beats per minute. And this is what's good. This is what's fun about team tactics is we do that effort. Derek wasn't in that, and then boom, there goes Derek to protect the front.
Yep. That's what's fun about being on the team.
Yeah.
And the more we race together, you start getting like, you know that someone is going to do that on the team. Like you start building up that muscle memory of, in this situation, I do this, and it starts to take, you can take the race brain out of the equation.
Yeah, it becomes second nature.
Yep.
That's what locally Texas Roadhouse does so well in these races. It feels like they have ESP for what their moves are.
Yep.
But that initiates a lot.
Yep.
Oh, and I do remember that things kind of getting little subgroups here.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I think this is one. Oh, there I go. Yeah, I think this is one where Alex, maybe Chip, like, saved my life after that lead out.
Yeah, I mean, that's, there's certain roles where, and I know Chip pulled me back one time I can clearly remember, where having that resource in the pack after you've done an effort, and then you've got someone that's been doing steady effort in the pack that can bring you in is critical.
Yep.
And there's Chip doing it for Richie right there, right? Like, rather than Richie closing that.
Yep, like, hey, I got you.
Yeah. Hats off to this guy to my right. We'll see him a couple times. He was active. I'm going to name him Retro Rick. He's on, I don't know, is it Bianchi?
Yeah, I don't even know.
But it looks like a steel frame bike. His jersey is sweet. We got to find out this cat's name.
He was strong. He's the guy that went off in the front early on, and nobody
He is Retro Rick.
He went off early. No one chased him, and then I was like, "Oh, geez."
His cassette has like, I think that's a, maybe an 8-speed.
8-speed. Yeah, he was strong.
What glasses do you it's funny because we start and the sun's out on the downhill, and then by the end it's dark.
Yeah, I just have these little, the shades that I wear at this race have a little pink tint to them.
Yeah.
So I can deal with the fact that it's almost dark by the time we finish.
Well, I almost didn't wear glasses last week, and when you're going through from the start to the top, there's enough loose gravel, and I don't know if some guys have, now that they have 28s and 32 tires, it's just raining pebbles.
It is, totally. Yeah, I'm waiting to get my tooth knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, they were flying. I mean, I caught one right in the middle of the glass. It's like, that's a good thing I wore these. All right. Still have some fragmentation going on. And that's you right in front of Richie.
That's right. Yep. Right here, so I remember this. I was thinking about attacking, and then he dropped his chain. I think. Maybe that's not the time. Yeah, maybe not.
You do attack, or at least get to the front.
Yeah, I think I just got to the front. I don't think I did an attack.
And Mark's following you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, next week will be fun because it's really the rubber match. As you can see, after Richie got double points there, things are starting to add up in our favor pretty quick.
Yep. Kind of sets up, it sets up a nice showdown for the final week, which it's fun as a competitor. It's fun.
We need somebody up there.
All right, so we're in right before the bell, so things are starting to jockey around.
Mm-hmm. I don't really remember.
So there's guys up there.
Yeah.
Up front.
I don't remember who it is or what's happening right there.
All right.
All right, so Derek is.
Oh, I remember this one. Yeah.
So I'm stuck way over here on the right. Yep, good. I remember this one. Yeah, you guys were flying up this hill.
Yeah, so Derek takes the lead. Derek goes by DVH. We do have a lead, or we have a group ahead of us. An attack, and here comes Derek just smashing to catch him.
Yeah, you're
He
right.
peels off to the right. And I'm thinking, okay, we got a little bit of a gap. And I'm like, Richie, let's go. And this is where I turn from sweeper to lead out. And here comes there's Retro Rick. And he's looking back going, oh, man.
Ah, shit, here comes the lead out. Yeah, I remember, on this video when I watched it without the commentary, you said, Richie, I'll lead you. And then
Yeah.
you went right to the front.
And my thought here is just go as hard as I can, and as I look back, I see people assembling behind Richie, knowing that, okay, this is a chance to come around Richie for points.
Yep.
So my thought is bring this as hot as we can. I get to about here, and I just pull over to the side.
It's a long sprint.
Yeah, I left him a lot on the bone, but he's so good, he just takes it to the line.
Yep.
And this is one where I go, uh-oh, I can't get back on. Here's 700 watts to ramp up to the pack coming back on, still at 400 plus. And, okay, I finally realized, okay, I may get back on. And even then, Chip helps me out here to just do the final connection.
And when that group slows up, it's like really
Fine. Yeah. Thank goodness this isn't everyone going off the front.
This is where Bear goes, I think, right? On the right?
I don't remember. I know I'm at the back now going, all right, just recover.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I'm at 0 watts, just coasting downhill, putting my knees tight as they can against the frame and getting as low as I can just to recover.
You need that arrow helmet you used to wear.
Yeah, it didn't have the MIPS, so I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think Dan lost a chain.
He did. Yeah. I actually saw on Strava he dropped his chain twice.
It's probably because he stretches it out in those friggin' sprints, and then by the time it comes to like normal pedaling at at 100 RPMs.
Yep. I'll never have a sprint like that. It's impressive.
Well, you'd probably fit in one of his legs.
I'll never have quads like that either.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so what we're at 27 here. Okay. These last couple are got a little fuzzy for me. I don't really remember what it was.
Who was on the side there? couldn't see who that was.
Like just talking to somebody? Yeah, I don't know. Look like a Mariner kid.
Yeah, I'm also thinking at this point, I gotta, my job sweeper, it really isn't needed until, I just don't think it's needed. No one's told me it's needed until you get into the sprint area. So my thought was just get back, relax, tail gun a little bit.
And you're doing a great job. Look at your heart rate.
It's come down.
Yeah.
So now it's time to like find Richie and start doing my job.
I think I'm doing the same right now. I think I'm just hanging in the middle, just recovering.
I mean, I hope they paved that road.
We said the same thing last year.
Yeah, and clearly nothing's happened, so it's gotten worse. Ooh, getting a little squirrely up there.
A little squirrely, yeah. Well, that's the good part about this race is the road is so dang wide.
Yeah.
You can deal with a little squirreliness.
So there's Zach. I'm basically seeing, all right, Zach's moving up. This is a chance for me to slide over, get on his wheel, and try to find Richie somewhere.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Bo's on Richie's wheel early. Goodwin's on his wheel. This is where I figure I'm just going to come around.
Yep.
So that I can pick Richie up later.
Yep. That's a good call. Yeah, so I think at this point, I think Bear is up the road, and it is Bear up the road and Matt Bull up the road. So we're organizing on the front to try to bring that back.
Yep, and you can see Goodwin and Bo are they're trying to follow Richie. Yep. Goodwin's telling me, I know you're the sweeper. You're making my life harder than it needs to be.
I remember I'm on the front here. And I remember trying to catch Bear, and the gap was growing. Oh my gosh,
he's a strong
dude.
So here's where I use that inside to snap back, and there's Bo on my we're basically fighting for Richie's wheel because this is going into the bell. And this one I held a little bit better.
I wonder if you right there would tell Richie, Richie hit the curb, if that helps that situation at all.
Yeah. Or go out and in,
Yeah.
almost.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, guys are peeling off. So that's an effort.
Yep.
So now the bell lap, the bell has told we got, people are getting frank. There goes Goodwin off the front.
At this point, it's okay. There are points up for grabs here because we've burned some guys trying to bring this back.
Yeah. So now it's not our lead out, although who's up front?
Is that Dan?
That might be Dan setting the pace high. But what's good here is Richie's been so strong all night that even if he's in the top 3 coming into this sprint, he's going to do well.
Yep.
And here's what's interesting for my job as a sweeper. I'm used to being on the inside. Now I'm like, okay, I'll just kind of guard his wheel. I don't really need to do much here. I mean, what I'm doing is preventing guys like Bo behind me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or Dan,
Or
right?
Dan.
Dan could have been right on his wheel.
Yeah.
But I think Richie gets this one, too.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, I think he got second on that one. I think Good may have done it. Again, we could know if you were...
Yeah.
Oh, you come up. This is nice. Where you just come around after the sprint.
So this is where I'm like, okay, I'm recovered. There's less than 10 laps to go. I can probably try to attack here. But they kept the pace high, and if I remember correctly, Eric... Yep. So Eric, even after the sprint, tries to get away again because he had gotten caught. And I remember Richie telling me, don't let this one go this time. Or something like that.
Well, again, that's, for so many years, Richie's had to do the sprint and then guard his own, cover his own brakes afterwards.
Yep.
The last time I reviewed the video, I realized that I didn't hit the right button at about this point.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't remember what I said.
All right, so on this downhill, so I'm following Dan on the downhill, we catch Bear.
Nice.
I then attack on the uphill.
Really? You're way up in that front group?
I am.
Okay.
So I'm going to attack out of this uphill here.
We got to get your GoPro going and overlay these.
I know.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, so I'm off the front now.
Oh, I see you. Way up there.
Yeah.
That's
and so
nice.
and so Bowl bridges to me. So it's Bowl and I now off the front.
And then our guys are all sitting up.
Yeah.
And then is that Jake that comes around?
Jake, yeah, so Jake ends up bridging and Adam follows him, but I don't think, yeah, okay, so I think Jake and Adam just are bridging right now.
Adam from our team.
From our team, yeah. Yep, they are.
And then what happened in that break? Because
So-
I probably can't see it.
Yeah, so what's happening right now is I'm on the front in that break. I give Bull a little bit time to, because he bridged up to me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this lap solo. On the front rather, and then once we get top of the hill, I'll push you through. So we're just cruising right now. I'm going as fast as I can to establish a gap while Bull is on my wheel. And at that time, Jake and Adam also catch somewhere around that time. But anyway, so we get to the top of this hill, and I flick Bull through. And he says, nope, just keep going. I'm like, dang it. So, yeah, so it was just he and I at that point because the other two guys hadn't made it yet.
Okay.
And once Jake and Adam make it, Jake pulls right through and takes a pull.
What was that like when he grabbed it?
It was hard. It was hard, but we stuck together. So the four of us are good, and we start rolling through. Bull pulls through, Adam pulls through, Jake pulls through, and we have a nice little break going.
And who's pulling this back?
11-11. I don't know who that is, but it was someone from 11-11.
And it looks like Derek from our team on his
Yeah.
wheel. Now, what's crazy again is Richie's done 6 of 8 sprints. He scored points on 6 of 8
6
sprints.
of 8, every single one. Yep.
And we got 2 more sprints to go coming into the bell. That's good rest. I'm actually turning my pedals. Richie's close enough where he's just getting a draft, or he's heavier than me, so he's able to just cruise where I have to start pedaling.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one.
And you
it
guys are
is.
talking about something.
I think he said that's where I want you to take me to on a sprint. And I'm like, yeah, if I can, I will. I'll take you as far as I can.
Yeah.
Which is not here. It's usually before there. All right, so now this is the bell lap.
One before the bell.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah. So Adam, we're about to pass Adam here. Adam gets popped from the brake because Jake is a madman and basically attacks us in the brake up here.
Oh, okay. So that's when Adam said he got popped off. He got popped off the brake.
That's right.
Came back to the Peloton.
Yeah, that's right. And he was very smart because he's like, dude, he goes, you guys were catching us. The field was catching us.
Yeah, and why have two guys wreck themselves?
Right.
Yeah, that is smart.
It was a smart call.
It's like he's a doctor or something.
Yeah, right. Like he has a higher IQ than the rest of us.
All right, now we're coming into the bell.
Yep. And brake is basically caught.
Well, good job. I mean, that's... if you looked at your watts for those 5 minutes, I'm sure it was pretty strong.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yep.
That's why it's so hard. Even with a Jake and a Bull and a teammate, it's hard to get away.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's that downhill, too. Just when that Peloton's rolling on the downhill and you get some heavy guys on the front, and then everyone carries that, just a different level of momentum up the hill.
Yep.
I think is that Mark?
It looks like Mark.
Mark did a nice job of leading Richie in a lot of these situations. Now, he went left, and Richie's like, nah, I'm going right.
I don't like that line, yeah. Where's Bo? Is Bo in front of, looks like Greg is up there?
I think Bo's behind us.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to mark Richie, and then at this point I just figure I'm going to make the Peloton wide. And forcing Zach to come around my right.
Yeah.
But then Richie just mashes the pedals. Yeah, that was nice. There's Bo. Good one.
All right, so now we're on our...
We only got one more point segment.
Yep. And it's double.
I think we're going to need higher chairs for the next one.
I think so, too.
I'll tell you, I'm still recovering. Like, after...
I'm too.
Like, I'm at 176 is usually me sprinting or in a break or not recovering and watching it just hold at high 170s. So my plan was rest in the back and then find Richie, and you'll see this is where Richie's good. He didn't even, at this point, he was kind of figuring out the rhythm, and
Well, and at this point, I mean, I think it's fair to say that we were all probably pretty fatigued at this point. I know I was.
Oh, I think everybody in the race is.
Yeah.
Retro Rick. Yeah, guys are just sitting up.
Yeah.
Kind of resting.
Yeah.
Somebody went off the front. I'm trying to remember. I think that's Derek.
I'm not sure. I was certainly recovering from that break at this point. Oh, there we go.
You look pretty getting recharged.
Alex is in front of you, I feel like he has a very smooth pedal stroke. He looks very smooth on the bike.
Yeah, it's like he just runs that machine.
Yeah.
I think he hates this race, but I think he's told me that this is not his favorite race. But he's so strong. I mean, when he uncorks his sprint, there isn't many people that can stay with him.
Nope.
It's funny how each course suits different riders differently.
Yep.
So maybe that was Mark off the front.
It might have been. So we're in 3 to go?
Yeah. Things do slow up here.
Yeah.
I remember this. Everyone's like, all right, truce. And then, zing!
Who was
Somebody
that, Bull,
goes,
probably?
yes. It's got to be.
Yeah. He has zero hesitation.
This might be the lap where you almost have to bunny hop the curb.
Yeah, I think it is. Maybe.
Yeah, because I think he goes with the ready. Yeah, this is it. So you're in front of me.
Yep, you're right.
And look, zing! Oh! I jammed my brakes. And now I'm doing, 600 just to reattach.
I'm like, I'm not hitting the brakes. I'm just going to bunny hop the curb if it comes down to it.
Yeah, you just got to hope that there's not a street lamp in the part where you're going to jump the curb.
Yes.
Because I don't think you're looking for the next street lamp.
Nope.
Or sign. So this is where I feel like I let things down where I gotta get up and get Richie's wheel. Instead, I recovered for too long, and I'm trying here, but then all it takes is people to get aggressive. I mean, there is no, that's Adam.
That's Adam.
Richie's way up front,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh.
It's actually a good lesson learned. Like maybe in the future, like, cause I'm right there. If you said, "Hey, get me to Richie,"
yeah,
give me, you can command me, and I can.
At this point, I think the matches were out of the book, and it was.
Yeah.
I think it would have been you go sweep, not get me to Richie. In fact, I think you thought that, didn't you, after the race? Maybe I should.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was pretty cooked at this point. I remember just thinking, all right, this race is about over.
Oh, I missed it that time. That's the Grand Canyon. All right, bell lap, double points now.
Yep. Last lap. Yeah, speed definitely picks up through here.
Yeah, in the draft at the top of the hill, sustaining 300. Let's see. Richie does such a good job.
No,
He's
for
just
sure.
following Bear.
Yep.
I guess I was coming around, but I didn't have anything. Oh, everything came on the right.
Yep.
Look at you filling that gap. And I should have just grabbed your wheel. Not that it matters, because we're not getting any points.
It doesn't really matter, but
It's just racing for road results.
which I didn't know was a thing. I didn't know until you said.
No, that's good.
That was
That's good
fun.
stuff.
Yeah. I said this after the race, but we both have, victories, podiums, or whatever. That was definitely like the most fun I had consistently during a race. Since
Yeah,
I
that
started
was
racing. It just felt like
it's fun.
It was all coming together.
When you have a team doing their thing, guys that have trained all year, off season, threads going, email threads, text threads all year about what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're sacrificing, and then for it to come together. Richie ended up with 31 points.
Yep. +1 for showing up, so 32.
32.
Yeah.
So now he's second in the series.
Yep.
And, this third one's going to be a rubber match.
It's going to be a rubber match. We're all close. Everybody's close, so.
All right. This is a van race breakdown.
All right.
All right. See you, buddy.